Tonight on First at 9 this Sunday the 8th of June 2025. Asked and answered. No weapons or drugs in the 323 containers released, Customs confirms. A special report with full details will be revealed soon. The Minister of Public Security vows to take action against those spreading misinformation. Pardon the pardon. Several inmates unlawfully released through previous Vesak Day presidential pardons too, police sources reveal. Commissioner General of Prisons summoned by the CID for questioning. Forex incoming. Sri Lanka earns $164.1 million from tourism in May 2025, marking a steady inflow of foreign.
Cinec Campus Open Day. මේ මස 3 වෙනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට Cinec Campus පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
This is the Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to the Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Dirisinghe joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms, recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now your top story tonight, Sri Lanka Customs media spokesperson and additional Director General of Customs, Sivali Aruggoda states that the 323 containers released without inspection contained industrial raw material and equipment. Speaking at a press conference held today, he emphasized that there is no evidence to suggest that the containers included weapons, gold or narcotics.
In January this year, delays in clearing imported containers at the Colombo port caused significant disruptions and posed risks to the national economy. During this period, controversy emerged regarding the release of 323 containers without physical inspection, as various parties raised concerns and suspicions over their contents. In response and amidst ongoing investigations by authorized bodies, Sri Lanka Customs held a press conference today, 5 months after the incident, to clarify the situation.
Last year, we faced major congestions in container clearance. Several vessels en route to Colombo were diverted and at least 34 ships returned without docking due to these delays. To ease the situation, a special screening unit was established to release containers deemed low risk. It's important to note that 60% of containers arriving in Sri Lanka are cleared without inspection, with fewer than 40% physically checked. The 323 containers in question contained raw materials for local industries such as plastics, garments, threads, industrial chemicals, vehicle spare parts ordered by local agents of international manufacturers, electronic items, animal feed, machinery, paper, solar panels, steel pipes, wires, fertilizers, pesticides, cement and wood products. The majority of these shipments came from India and China. Based on the procedures followed and the documentation submitted by the importers, we believe that the containers only contain the declared goods. All documents were thoroughly reviewed by the relevant committee prior to release. Allegations have since emerged, suggesting the containers may have held weapons, gold or narcotics. I can confidently state that these goods were not present in these containers. Even during the 30-year conflict with the LTTE, there was not a single instance of weapons entering via Colombo port. Nonetheless, we have initiated a post-clearance audit currently being carried out by the Post-Clearance Audit Branch. Additionally, a high-level committee appointed by the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance has investigated the process thoroughly. All relevant information has also been shared with the Criminal Investigation Department. Minister Ratnayaka is the chairman of the committee established to resolve the container clearance issue. While the committee oversees the broader process, he has no direct influence on the customs clearance procedures. I can assure you that we have not been pressured or influenced by any party in this matter.
පසුගිය කාලයේ මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන් කරපු චෝදනාවක් තමයි තොරතුරු දැනගැනීමේ පනත හරහා ඔබතුමාලගෙන් තොරතුරු ඉල්ලුවා. ඔබතුමාලා තොරතුරු දෙන්න නැහැලු.
අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් තොරතුරු දිනවා බැරි තොරතුරු. රතු කහ නිල් කොළ ලේබල්
The red, yellow, blue and green labels are for internal indicators. A red label does not automatically require mandatory inspection. The release of containers with red labels is not unusual. It is a standard practice based on risk assessments.
ඒක සාමාන්‍ය දෙයක්.
Meanwhile, Minister of Public Security also commented on the issue.
කිසිදු ආකාරයේ
No containers have been released illegally. We are conducting a thorough investigation into the matter. We are also taking steps to investigate individuals who have spread misleading information regarding this issue.
කණ්ඩායම් පිළිබඳවත් අපි විමර්ශන කරමින් ඉන්නවා.
චන්දරුසුමේ කාගෙන් මන අපේ සිංහ TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්.
Now, the Criminal Investigation Department today questioned and recorded a statement from Commissioner General of Prisons, Tushar Puldenia, over the controversial release of a prisoner who had been convicted by the Anuradhapura High Court and incarcerated on the 2nd of May, but was later granted a presidential pardon and released during the Vesak holiday. Meanwhile, preliminary investigations by the police reveal that several inmates may have been unlawfully released under the guise of Vesak Day presidential pardons on a number of previous occasions as well.
Member of Parliament representing Samagijana Balawegaya, Ajit P. Pereira, made a striking disclosure in Parliament on Friday, stating that an individual convicted by the Anuradhapura High Court on the 2nd of May was granted a presidential pardon merely 10 days later on the 12th of May.
An individual named Atula Senaratna, who is reportedly facing over 20 separate cases before the Anuradhapura Magistrates Court, along with several others pending before the High Court, has been granted the presidential pardon. Accordingly, the Anuradhapura High Court ordered the discharge of the convict from case number HC/69/2018, despite his conviction being delivered as recently as May 2nd this year. However, on the Vesak full moon Poya day on the 12th of May, President Anwar Dissanayake exercised his constitutional powers to grant a presidential pardon to the said individual.
This revelation sparked widespread public outrage. Issuing a statement later that day, the Prisons Department spokesperson acknowledged that public criticism was being directed at the release of W.M. Atula Tilakaratna, who had been convicted of dishonest misappropriation of property by the Anuradhapura High Court, an offence punishable under Section 386 of the Sri Lankan Penal Code. The statement clarified that the amnesty was part of a broader release initiative and was not tailored specifically to Tilakaratna. However, the President Media Division released a statement yesterday denying these allegations. The PMD claimed that the official list of 388 inmates recommended for pardon submitted by the Commissioner General of Prisons to the Presidential Secretariat does not include the name of W.H. Atula Tilakaratna. In light of these discrepancies, the Presidential Secretariat has lodged a complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department requesting a thorough probe into the incident. However, the statement released by the Prisons Department referred the individual in question as W.M. Atula Tilakaratna, while the release published by the PMD referred him under the initial of W.H. Atula Tilakaratna. Subsequently, Commissioner General of Prisons Tushar Puldenia was summoned by the CID for questioning, during which an initial statement was recorded. Additional documentation under review and further statements are expected to be recorded. According to the Police Media Division, preliminary investigations have unearthed evidence that several inmates may have been unlawfully released under the Vesak presidential amnesty. It was further uncovered that prisoners who were not formally approved for the release were included among those to be released under the presidential pardon during previous occasions as well. Consequently, a broader investigation has been launched to uncover how court-convicted prisoners may have been unlawfully released through the misuse of presidential amnesty provisions. Meanwhile, Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Ananda Vijaypala also commented on the Vesak presidential pardon controversy.
The President has never approved the release of an individual convicted of financial fraud. However, we have received information pertaining to a person who had been released unlawfully. This is a serious offence. Preliminary investigations revealed similar incidents of prison inmates being released under the guise of presidential pardons in earlier occasions as well. We have instructed officials to launch a thorough investigation regarding the matter. At a Committee on Public Accounts hearing, it was revealed that the majority of train-related accidents occur at railway crossings with safety features. Meanwhile, in a bid to meet security standards long demanded by the public, officials attached to Sri Lanka Railways revealed at the COPA hearing that the ministry has approved the procurement of 5 economy class train carriages. As observed in the audit report, 239 railway tracks are in critical condition. As mentioned here, no action has been taken regarding this matter. 37 deaths and 105 injuries have been reported over this issue. Human lives are always at stake. Is there a plan to address this issue?
දුම්රිය හරස් මාර්ග මම ආසන 1200ක් පමණ තියෙනවා ආරක්ෂා ලබා දිය යුතු.
මගෙන අපි ආසන්න වශයෙන් අවුරුදු 5 ඇතුලේ ආරක්ෂිත තත්ත්වයට ගෙන ආපු කීයක් විතර තියෙනවද දන්නේ නැහැ නේ.
මේ වසර තුල ඉදිරි වසරේ ආරම්භයේදී
During this year and by the beginning of next year, barriers and warning bells will be installed at 75 railway crossings. Countries including India, Australia, various European nations, the United Kingdom and the United States do not provide active security at every railway crossing. However, they ensure safety through proper road signage. If traffic rules are followed and if approaching trains can be seen clearly, motorists and pedestrians must abide by road rules. Around 15 deaths occur annually due to accidents at railway crossings. In comparison, about 8 deaths occur daily due to general motor traffic accidents. So when placed in context, this corresponds to approximately 2 days' worth of road traffic fatalities. When we look at fatalities and injury statistics, 2/3 of them occur at crossings that already have warning bells. At times, there are no fatalities reported in places that have proper road signage.
සමහර අවසරවල රෝඩ් සයින් විතරක් තියෙන තැන්වල මරණ වාර්තා වෙන්නෙම නැහැ.
දීර්ඝ කාලයක් හඳුනාගෙන තවමත් ඒ ආරක්ෂාව දෙන්න බැරි වෙච්ච තැන් පිළිබඳව ඔබතුමාලට මොකක් හරි ආයතනයේ වාර්තාවක් තියෙනවද? එහෙම සොයා බැලීමක් වෙලා තියෙනවද?
මම හිතන්නේ එම සැලසුමක් තියෙනවද කියලා මම ඇත්තටම දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් කළ යුතු
මේ වෙනකන් මම කියන්නේ සිම්මරමත මේ වෙනකන් එහෙම සැලසුමක් නැද්ද? මේ දුම්රිය වල තියෙන වැසිකිලි පහසුකම් එකක් පිරිසුදුතාවයක් නැහැ. මම හිතන්නේ දුම්රිය දෙපාර්තමේන්තු සේවයේ තියෙන අනාදිමත් කාලේ හැඩතලම වැසිකිළියේ තියෙනවා.
සභාපතිතුමනි ඔය අපි අලුතෙන් දුම්රිය මැදිරි කට්ටල් මේ
We have received instructions from the ministry to procure 5 train carriages and we are currently working on their initial designs. As part of this initiative, we plan to introduce seal-type toilets for the first time. We will also be introducing economy class train carriages with air conditioning consisting closing doors. Through this, we can meet the safety standards demanded by the public. Our goal is to bring modern facilities currently available in trains around the world.
සියලු නවීන කමියුටර් ට්‍රේන්ස් වල තියෙන ෆැසිලිටි අපි දෙන්න හදනවා.
සිනෙක් කැම්පස් ඕපන් ඩේ මැයි මස 3 වැනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට සිනෙක් කැම්පස් පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
Sri Lanka hosted the 23rd ASEAN Regional Forum Intersessional Meeting on Disaster Relief recently in Colombo, co-chaired by Bangladesh and Vietnam. Over 50 participants from 27 ARF member countries attended the forum. Sri Lanka emphasized the need for coordinated, well-prepared disaster response mechanisms and shared its recent humanitarian assistance mission to Myanmar following an earthquake. The meeting coincided with World Environmental Day, highlighting Sri Lanka's commitment to sustainable environmental practices and disaster preparedness. Key topics included regional cooperation, capacity building, civil-military coordination, and best practice sharing. A youth panel contributed forward-looking insights linking disaster relief and environmental protection. The forum reviewed the ARF work plan on disaster relief 2024 to 2027 and the Hanoi Plan of Action 2. Sri Lanka, an ARF member since 2007, currently co-chairs the intersessional meeting on disaster relief. Moving on to some political updates, the current government, which is unswervingly fulfilling the conditions imposed by the International Monetary Fund, has no plan to generate wealth, says Sarvajana Balaya leader MP Dilith Jayavira. He expressed these views while addressing a party meeting of the Sarvajana Balaya held in Wallavaya.
A meeting of all candidates who contested the recently concluded local government elections through the Sarvajana Balaya in the Wallavaya electorate was held in Wallavaya today. The meeting, which also garnered the participation of all party members within the Wallavaya electorate, was held under the patronage of the leader of Sarvajana Balaya, Member of Parliament Dilith Jayavira.
By 2028, we have to source $150 billion. This wealth will not be generated within Sri Lanka. There's no way such a vast amount could be generated. How can it be so? Without empowering the people, there's no other way to source that wealth. There's a country in West Africa called Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is a country with a dark history and one that plagued with a multitude of challenges. Their new leader, Ibrahim Traore, states that the demon called the IMF poisoned them under the guise of administering medicine. He publicly determined that he will stand with the people and disregard the IMF completely. Such leadership inspires hope. What is our situation today? Whatever we do has to be sanctioned by the IMF. Recently, a revelation was made that sugar cannot be sold. What was the issue? Apparently, the IMF has demanded that the sugar we produce ourselves be taxed. This rendered imported sugar to be cheaper than locally produced sugar. So will there be a demand for locally produced sugar? They chose the slogan of anti-corruption. Everybody eagerly anticipated the government to hunt down the stolen funds, confiscate it and pass down its benefit to the people. They did in fact hunt down some corrupt individuals. Those apprehended individuals now claim that they will arrest the corrupt in the incumbent government. Can we move forward as a government if we are caught in a perpetual cycle of catching thieves? The Good Governance government also came to power making the same promise. Andhra Kumara Dissanayaka's anti-corruption committee was part of the same Good Governance government. They couldn't finish hunting down the corrupt even then. If all corrupt individuals are to be arrested, the government party's headquarters must be sealed first. A very strong force has already amazed behind the Sarvajana Balaya. We might not endorse the provincial council system, but we'll challenge the president to call the provincial council election so that we can show everyone what the Sarvajana Balaya can do.
The strike action initiated by the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary Medicine over key demands was called off by the medical laboratory professionals this morning. The union action was initially launched by five unions affiliated with the JCPSM on the 5th of June. 4 unions withdrew from the strike action yesterday, making the medical laboratory professionals the last group of health workers on strike. The medical laboratory professionals also called off the strike this morning following a meeting of the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary Medicine. Accordingly, Chairman of the JCPSM Ravi Kumudesh warned that the union action will be launched again if their issues are not resolved. Now, in other local news, the Ministry of Education issued a set of instructions to schools regarding the prevention of dengue and chikungunya. Issuing a statement, the ministry highlighted that these instructions were issued due to highest number of patients diagnosed with dengue being children between the ages of 5 and 19. According to the statement, the ministry proposes to prepare and implement an appropriate internal program to ensure that all school premises are mosquito-free and do not interfere with school educational activities. These new guidelines have been issued in addition to the previously released circulars 2010/22 and 30/2017 with the aim of maintaining a safe mosquito-free environment in and around schools. The statement underscores that if mosquito breeding grounds are identified on school premises, during special inspections, legal measures may be taken against principals of the respective schools. Themed Let the World Be Enlightened by the Teachings of the Buddha, the State Pusan Festival will be held in key historic sites including Anuradhapura, Mihintale and Tantirimale under full state patronage. In view of the Pusan Festival, the National Pusan Committee anticipates that over 2 million devotees would visit the sacred city of Anuradhapura within the Pusan week. Given the situation, Sri Lanka Police announced that a special security and traffic plan will be in place for the Pusan Festival, centered around the sacred cities of Anuradhapura and Mihintale. The acting police spokesperson states that this special security and traffic plan will come into effect starting tomorrow. The police disclosed that nearly 3,500 police officers have been deployed on site to ensure public safety amidst the Pusan festivities. Meanwhile, steps have also been taken to establish 21 parking lots in Anuradhapura and 7 parking lots in the Mihintale sacred city. Sri Lanka Police further requested the devotees to keep the sacred places clean and refrain from bringing in plastic or polythene. And now here's a look at more local news in brief.
A 43-year-old individual was hacked to death at around 2 a.m. this morning by a group of assailants who broke into his house in the Wadugoda area of Panapitiya in Kalutara. Preliminary investigations revealed that the victim was an employee of the Kalutara Pradeshiya Sabha. According to reports, the victim's wife, who sustained injuries in the violent confrontation, was rushed to hospital for medical treatment. Meanwhile, 4 individuals, including a 13-year-old, tragically passed away after drowning in the Bala Alla River in Polonnaruwa. Police revealed that all 4 victims were residents of Ratmalana. Further investigations into the matter have already been initiated by the Arala Gangwila police. In other local news, a blue and yellow mako reported to be worth over 500,000 rupees has been stolen from a cage at the Devila National Zoo. The theft had occurred on the 4th of June. The suspected thief was captured on a CCTV camera installed at a shop near the zoo. According to reports, the mako was stolen from a bird cage consisting 30 blue and yellow makos. The zoo administration later lodged a complaint with the Devila police.
Welcome back. Now in your business news, Sri Lanka's foreign exchange revenue from tourism reached $164.1 million in May this year. According to the central bank, this revenue represented a significant increase compared to May of last year, which saw $154 million in earnings. Compared to last year's revenue during the same period, which was $154 million. However, sector's revenue for the month of May indicated lower than the $256.7 million earned during the month of April. During the first 5 months of 2025, the tourism sector generated a total of $1.5 billion, a 9.8% increase from the $1.4 billion during the same period last year. The revenue increase is credited to the country recording more than 1 million tourist arrivals by the end of May this year, up 14.8% from the same period in 2024. Now in other local business news, the wholesale price per 50 kilogram bag of cement will be increased by 100 rupees. Cement companies claim that although the wholesale price per 50 kilogram bag of cement has been increased, the retail price has not been revised. It is reported that the increase in cement production costs have led to the rise in cement prices. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you. Have a great night.